Have you ever tried to get close to a man and felt like you were talking to a stone wall? Hey love, I'm your CuteQ coach. If you've ever felt confused, lonely, or rejected by a man who seems emotionally distant, this video is for you. He may not be heartless. He may be a stone man. In the classic idea that men are from Mars, we can understand men through a deeper psychological archetype, the stone man, and his emotional opposite, the swamp person. Today, we'll gently explore Mars. Many men didn't choose to become emotionally hard. They learned it. As children, some men experienced what we could call emotional invasion. This could mean being relied on too heavily by a parent, being guilted into caretaking, or even being punished for having their own needs and feelings. Over time, their nervous system learned one simple, powerful rule: you can't bleed if you turn into stone. So, what we see as emotional shutdown actually became a form of protection. It was a way to survive difficult childhood environments where expressing emotion was unsafe or led to negative consequences. They built a wall not to keep you out, but to keep the pain from getting in. This isn't a conscious choice. It's a deep-seated survival mechanism that has been wired into them since they were young. This stone-like calm you see is an indifference. It's a defense mechanism against being emotionally drained. By becoming quiet, abstract, and highly controlled, the stone man avoids feeling overwhelmed. He fears that if he opens up emotionally, he'll be consumed, just like he may have been in the past. To him, silence becomes safety. It's his fortress, a quiet place where no one can make demands on his feelings or punish him for having them. This defense keeps him functioning, but it also keeps intimacy at a distance. When he retreats into logic and reason, he's not necessarily rejecting you. He's trying to manage his own internal world, which feels constantly on the verge of chaos. Because of this, many stone men secretly distrust happiness. Joy feels dangerous. Why? Because in their past, moments of joy were often followed by loss, punishment, or a sudden new expectation. A happy moment could be shattered by a parent's mood swing or a new burden being placed on their shoulders. So, they learn to stay in battle mode. This looks like always working, always preparing for the worst, always bracing for the next impact. They live in a state of constant vigilance, which makes it incredibly difficult to relax into joy. Praise also feels suspicious to them. When you compliment a stone man, his inner voice might ask, "What do they want from me now?" It doesn't feel like a gift. It feels like a setup for a future demand. And apologies. Apologies can feel absolutely unbearable. For a stone man, saying "I'm sorry" can trigger a deep, crushing sense of shame. It doesn't just feel like admitting to a mistake. It feels like a confession that says, "I failed completely." Or even worse, "I am fundamentally wrong as a person." This connects back to the core wound of feeling inadequate or burdensome as a child. So instead of apologizing directly, he might try to make up for it in other ways. He may overwork, trying to prove his value through achievement. He might overachieve in another area of his life to compensate. Or he may simply emotionally disappear, shutting down even further because the shame is too much to handle. Let's translate some of these common Mars behaviors and what they might really mean. When he forgets anniversaries or special dates, it's not because he doesn't care about you. It's because his brain is wired to track missions, tasks, and logical goals, not emotional timestamps. He's in problem-solving mode, not feeling mode. When he hates criticism, even gentle feedback, it's because that criticism threatens his very fragile sense of worth. It confirms his deepest fear that he is not good enough. And while his partner often feels the world emotionally, he sees the world visually and logically. He processes information through facts and figures. This isn't a lack of love. It's a fundamental difference in processing the world around them. Understanding this difference is the first step toward bridging the gap. 'So, how can you live peacefully with a stone man?' First, acknowledge his emotional state. He may feel lonely, confused, or uncertain. This is normal. He may feel shift from competition to teamwork. Power struggles will only harden the stone. When you fight to win an argument, you're both losing, because the connection itself gets damaged. Instead, think of yourselves as teammates facing a problem together, not as opponents. If one partner loses, the entire relationship loses. Framing your challenges as us against the issue instead of me against you can completely change the dynamic and invite cooperation instead of defensiveness. Second, replace emotional extraction with appreciation. If you try to pull feelings out of a stone, it only becomes harder and more resistant. You can't force vulnerability, but genuine, specific appreciation creates the safety he needs to soften. Tell him what you admire about him, thank him for the things he does, and acknowledge his efforts. Gratitude is not submission, it's a form of emotional disarmament. It shows him that he is seen and valued for who he is, not just for what he can provide emotionally. This warmth and acceptance can slowly melt the protective layers he's built up over a lifetime. Third, give permission instead of pressure. Many stone men don't even know how to receive love, be vulnerable, or simply rest. They've been in doing mode for so long that being mode feels foreign and unsafe. You can't tell him to be vulnerable, but you can model it. Your own growth, your own self-compassion, and your own ability to rest can silently give him the permission he needs to do the same. When you take care of your own emotional needs without making him responsible for them, you become a leader in the relationship. This form of gentle leadership invites softness, not demands it. And finally, a crucial step, protect his vulnerability when it appears. On the rare occasion that a stone man shares a hidden feeling, a fear, or a moment of uncertainty, that moment is sacred. Do not attack, interrupt, or try to redirect the conversation. Don't use his words against him later in an argument. Just listen. Hold space for what he's sharing. Safety in this moment is what creates the possibility of depth later on. If he feels punished for opening up, he will retreat back into his stone fortress, and it will be even harder to reach him next time. Here's a deeper healing truth to consider. The pain we feel in relationships is often not about a lack of love, it's about unmet expectations. When we demand that our partner change into who we think they should be, we enter a power struggle. But when we can return to the essence of our connection, the playfulness, the humor, the magnetism that first brought us together, the dynamic shifts. Healing happens not by fixing the other person, but by finding our way back to that core of love and acceptance for them and for ourselves. Imagine the stone man as a giant iceberg. If you try to burn it with the fire of anger and demands, it might melt, but it might just as easily fracture and disappear into the cold ocean. But if you can become like warm sunlight, offering steady, gentle warmth without expectation, the ice begins to melt naturally. It transforms into life-giving water, nurturing the connection between you. Have you ever loved a stone man, and what did that feel like? Share gently in the comments. If this video touched you, please leave a heart so YouTube knows this is a healing space for others to find. I'm your CuteQ coach. Remember, stone can soften when it feels safe. I'll see you in the next video.